Boom. I think we're live again. So today we have one of our first guests coming back with a different shirt, apparently. Cesar Garcia. Go and close that up. I'm just kidding. Cesar Garcia, he was one of the first people that were actually on the podcast. I've known Cesar for a long time, and we had a great time then. We've had a great time throughout our career, so figured we'd just shoot the shit a little bit, catch up with each other, and see what's new in the life of young C's.
A little catch up. Good, dude. Just it was nice that you have a good little green room set up here. So we've been kind of catching up for the last 25 minutes. It would have been nice. Yeah. If we could have caught some of that.
I know.
Some magic. It was good magic.
We have Christian behind the scenes back there, just giving us
a phenomenal job.
Yeah, phenomenal job. Great job, Christian. Great job. For real. I was asking you off camera. What's up with this new fandom you have for the Dallas Cowboys? Where'd it come from?
Bro, I've always been a Cowboys fan. I try not to be an annoying Cowboys fan, bro.
No,
but it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard.
That's possible?
I mean, 10-3 right now. It's kind of hard not to be.
You're getting to annoying Cowboys fan status.
I've seen a little bit.
I've seen some of your social media posts out there. Speaking of social media posts, I've also seen you a lot more on social media.
Yeah.
How has that helped your career overall?
It's actually pretty fun, man. When I started doing the social media, I said, I don't want to do any of I was like, don't catch me dancing on TikTok or one of these. Don't.
I swear if I catch you dancing on one of them TikToks,
we're going to have some issues. But no, dude, I really just said, I'm just going to start putting myself out there, do some stuff that I'm comfortable with, even if it's some, goofy stuff. But it's been pretty cool, man. I've been getting some pretty cool reach outside of our local marketplace here in El Paso. Getting some connections in Houston, Dallas and stuff. Yeah. Realtors and buyers reaching out. So it's been pretty cool. And even realtors that I've never worked with before here in town are like, oh, I saw your video. Or a realtor that just closed with you tagged you and then I saw your video. And I'm like, perfect. Because you get a couple closings under your belt and then
exactly
repeat business.
And thing with you is you're a loan officer. Is it statewide or nationwide?
So the company I'm with now is licensed nationwide, but my license is only active in California, New Mexico, and Texas.
Okay, cool. And you said from that social media, a lot of agents and I mean, I don't know if loan officers, and hopefully once they watch this, they can jump on the train or not jump on the train. That way we can continue picking up all the leads. But a lot of people underestimate and overthink, right?
Yes.
Because I saw your video and I've seen all your videos, but it's like you're not afraid of just thinking a little bit outside the box, more than just, hey, call me today, I'm a realtor, or I'm a loan officer, rates are this. That's boring. And people underestimate the reach that you can generally get by just doing something different.
Yeah, and I mean, we've been around, both you and I have been around for at least over 10 years. Apiece.
Well, speak for yourself, player.
Oh, my bad. I mean, 15 years now. We're not there yet.
Yeah.
But we've been around for a minute. But I personally don't want to record videos or put out any content of me preaching about rates and credit scores and how a loan works. One, you don't trust me, and if you're getting your advice from a social media video, it's kind of last ditch effort. It's just kind of this is who I am. Let me reach into your network and if you like this, talk to me.
Correct.
But I don't want to sit here and explain to you the way credit works or how a mortgage works on a 30-second Instagram video, and to try to get your attention before that with a dance.
Well, it's a good thing we have exactly 25 minutes for you to talk about this here. Right? No, but I mean, I know you've been, because you were a salesperson when I first met you, right? Mm-hmm. But before that, I didn't know that you had already been a loan officer, salesperson, then loan officer. How did you how did you decide, hey, I'm going to be, lending is what's for me versus sales?
You know what, dude, it's weird. And I mean, you as a salesperson don't even realize this, but because I was selling at such a young age, I was, 21 or 22 when I started selling homes. This was after I did mortgage loans. Mortgage loans are black and white. You pull credit, you look at income, you look at debts, and there's a list of rules that you have to follow. Mm-hmm. And that you kind of help smooth things out to see if that loan works. And that's kind of what it is. It's nothing personal. Like, I don't make these rules. Like, I kind of have to find a way to squeeze you in. But when you're selling a home, you first meet a family, greet a family. You meet mom, dad. They talk to you about what they do, what their goals are. You get to know why they drive what they drive, where the kids go to school. So now there's like a connection. Mm-hmm. So now if mom and dad decide not to purchase your home or go somewhere else, like your pride might not let you admit it, but you're a little, it's like almost like your friend didn't buy from you,
And it's crazy how you're saying, oh, you get to know what they drive. You get to know where they work. You're kind of pre-qualifying them beforehand. Oh, you drive that beautiful $1,200 a month payment. Oh,
those are nice cardboard plates.
Exactly. Oh, fuck. 2 weeks before the closing.
Yeah.
And it's crazy how you say these different, like right now you said the home, you show them the home, they bring their mom. But I went to a training and they said the number one word, the most beloved word in the English dictionary, English language, is the word mom or mother. Number one. And then number two is home. And a lot of people, I teach that to my agents, where we have to be pulling at those heartstrings, if you will. Like, hey, this is the perfect home, and I'm pretty sure it's a home you and your mom would love. Yeah. Oh shit! You just use all
to just put them together, and you're
exactly.
Like, that makes me feel warm and fuzzy.
I want to buy now. Yeah.
But just circling back, it was you start becoming emotionally attached to your borrowers, your consumers, because you at a level you think you're friends, and then when they don't buy from you, you kind of just go home. And if I didn't have a sale that day, I would be just like drained, man. And I was like, I don't know what it is. Like, I feel like I was getting too attached, and I was like, I can't keep doing the sales thing, like spending 4 or 5 hours with anyone, trying to help them accomplish those goals of becoming homeowners, of bringing mom and dad to the brand new house, brand new home, and it just doesn't go through. You don't get to see those dreams come to fruition, and you're like, just emotionally exhausted.
Now, crazy that you said by the age of 21, you were doing sales while already having done mortgage.
Yeah.
So would you start at fucking 15 or what?
16.
16?
Yeah. So I actually started my first job at a different home builder when I was 16 years old, and a month in, I turned 17. I mean, I was legally 16, but I turned 17 a month in. And then 3 years later, I got my mortgage license. Right before I turned 21, I got my mortgage license, did a couple of mortgages, and the opportunity came up to sell homes. And I'm like, well, those people look like they make good money, drive nice cars, wear nice suits. So I tried that out for 2 or 3 years, and it was honestly exhausting. Like, the hours weren't killing me, just the connections, the people. And then that person leaves, or someone yells at you on the phone, and then a realtor walks in or another buyer walks in, and you're like,
yeah, you have to be ready for game time all over again.
Yeah, just happy face all over again. And it eats at you. I mean, for all those salespeople out there that may get a chance at this, like, you're not alone out there.
Yeah. Like, well, look at me. I'm only 26.
Yeah. I'm just kidding. Yeah, I'm still 22.
Right. Yeah. No, I mean, but just the trajectory, because how old are you now?
32.
32.
Yeah.
So 12,
15
years?
15 years, baby. Yeah.
15 years. I mean, that's a really good track record, Somebody, and you can tell right away. You talk to someone like yourself, and you talk to a loan officer that's been doing it for a year or two, and you know the difference right away. And it's not that they've been doing great and they're awesome and whatever, but right away, where you need to push. You need to know what you need to ask, what not to ask. That's actually very, very important. Questions that you not to ask, right?
Don't want to know the answer.
Exactly. They don't ask, don't tell. But I think the 15 years of your trajectory have definitely helped you with that.
Yeah, and you know what, man, it's been humbling. Like, working at a new company, I was at Rocky Mountain for 7, almost 8 years, but being at this change now for a couple of months, it's been nice to talk to other loan officers who maybe have been doing it a little bit less, but because they know that system a little bit better, like learning and asking people for help again. It was nice, like starting over is weirdly like nice. Like,
what are some of the hardest parts? I know you I mean, people do it all the time, right? They go from one company, not all. I mean, 7 years, that's a long time. Yeah. And your previous employer before that was how many? Well, the other 8 years, right?
Yeah.
Starting at a new place, what do you think is one of the hardest things?
I mean, just getting to know the lay of the land. Like, you get used to your systems, the time you come into work, and how you move like a loan along in this case. And here it's like you think, oh man, this thing's a little different. But as you start doing more things more and more, you start figuring out why they do things the way they do them. You're so attached to the way you used to do things, and when you see, oh man, maybe I was not necessarily doing them in a proper order. Maybe I should have been doing this a different way before. So but it's nice, to kind of get a different perspective.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's definitely the same thing for me. I worked for one particular builder for, I think it was like just 2 years.
Yeah.
And as soon as I became a realtor, I started working for this new builder, and it was a little bit of a change, but I can only imagine the difference there would be, if the different change would come.
Yeah.
And
then you started your own brokerage.
That's true. I mean, when I met you, I didn't even have a real estate license, and now we're sitting here, top loan officer and 53 agents deep.
Let me ask you that. I know this is, you usually interview your guests, but I mean, I did a little bit of managing for a year, but you're managing 53 different agents. I mean, aside from like the schedules and the drama, like what's the hardest part that you've run into about having to manage a team and realizing these people all depend on me? Like there's 53 agents, that's 53 different families. Like those are all their closings, all their bills, and Papi Mario's got to take care of this. Does that ever cross your mind? Does it bring you to a certain level?
So it crosses my mind, definitely, right? And it's still, I mean, we are the number one agency in El Paso that's been around for less than 5 years. Because I've been a broker for 2 years. Yeah. Every other brokerage that has, the number one agency, 250 agents, the next one 170 agents, the next, so on and so forth. But some of them are big franchises. Keller Williams. You national. Have your Remax. Well, not even Remax. Just ERA. National ERA, things like that. Yeah. So they're big time, right? And some of these other brokerages with deep pockets. Summis Realty, deep pockets that we've been competing against, and I'm kind of like right underneath all of those. Agent count with only 50 agents. We just hit 100 million. But when you say that the responsibility, I do feel it when I kind of feel like I want it more than the agent. You know what I mean? Yeah. So every quarter I trim the fat, and kind of like the bottom 20%, I have a conversation with them. We give them a game plan. If they don't want to follow the game plan, then we give them their walking paper. But
you do have to make sure that you hold people accountable and make sure that they're not abusing of your kindness.
Of course. Yeah, of course. We were just talking about it off camera, and we have 4 trainings a week and a one-on-one. So
it's free trainings.
Free trainings, yes, on a weekly basis. So we have 4 trainings, and one on Thursdays I block off from 9 a.m. to 12. And if you feel like you need a one-on-one with me, as long as it's set before Wednesday at 5, the end of business day, we put you on the calendar for the next day. And it's usually packed. Like usually I have one agent after the other just coming in and, hey, you know what? I feel that I need to do this, or I feel that I'm not doing this, and we go over it. And it's a learning experience for me and for the agent, because I don't know everything. I've been a broker for 2 years. I've been a realtor since 2016, so I'm not the best at math. But 7 years. Yeah.
But you know what? I think that speaks something, because I'll circle back. You said at the end of the year, you trim the fat about 20% of your agents. But you said that very nonchalant, like 20% of your agents out of 50 agents, that's 10 agents every year.
Yeah.
10 families, kids, all these people that you touch. But you also mentioned that you train so well. You meet with them 4 times a week. You give them time to meet with you. So it kind of sounds like you've given them like 100%. You've given them all you can give. The brokerage is giving them every opportunity to succeed. Mm-hmm. And at the end of the year, if you're not succeeding, like you understand, it's not me.
Yeah. Like, let me make this very clear. It's not the brokerage. It's you. And this is not just for the agents with me, right? Yeah. It's the agents everywhere, the loan officers everywhere. Yes. It's not the company. It's 100% you. You know? And when you find your stride and you find the company you're going to be with, if you're a great agent, you're going to be a great agent at that company. Wherever. Or a great loan officer at that company. If you're a shit loan officer or a shit agent, you're going to be the same at those different companies. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, and I think that's the biggest mistake people make. They think that this is a job, but they don't treat it like such. because we want to become real estate agents so I can make my own schedule. I want to become a loan officer so I can make my own schedule, right? Because do you have a set time to come in or set time
whenever buyers need and when realtors need me?
But we make the mistake of saying, I don't really need to go to the office. I don't really need to do this. I don't really need to do that. Next thing we know, we've gone through half of the year with zero production, zero closings, things like that.
Maxed out credit card.
Exactly. And those agents are the ones that are, hey, plus I think this isn't the brokerage for me. Well, why? Because you didn't show up to the last 37 trainings I had?
I think I'm going to start doing flips now.
Yeah. I'm going to start investing, financing, or all these different fats. What do you think of that, especially that you're in finance? Have you heard of the creative financing that's going on around right now?
No, explain that to me. I don't know how that works.
You haven't heard? Like, for real?
No, creative financing.
So it's basically people that are telling other people, hey, I'll keep your loan. You keep the loan, but
I'll make the payments.
I'll make the payments, and I'll rent it to the
someone
next
else.
guy. Yeah.
Oh, that's wild.
And so it's still under you, but technically it's my house. But technically I've owner financed to this other guy. They'll give me 50 G's. I keep them. I keep paying you your loan monthly at 3%. Yeah. And I'm financing them at 10%, keeping the spread.
Well, you have a 4% mortgage rate.
Exactly.
I mean, I think that's all fun and games, but it's predatory lending, man. I think there's the reason the person couldn't finance their own loan out of pocket is because they don't meet, whether it's now that I've known, that here at Change we have all these alternative ways of qualifying borrowers with bank statements and 1099s, and there's very, very creative ways to legally qualify someone. Mm-hmm. But I feel very sorry for the people that don't qualify and trust someone and give them 20-30% of that home, $40,000-$50,000 up front, and say, hey, you'll get me into this home. And the second they miss a payment, they're out on the street. Yeah. And there's two other parties just benefiting from them. That's actually pretty sad.
And I mean, I'm not
advocating for it.
I don't condone it. I don't advocate it. I personally don't. I just don't mess with it. Yeah. Right. But I wanted to ask you, who's been doing this for 15 years, and the first thing that you said was predatory. Yeah. Right. Do you know the name of a gentleman, John Trient? No. He had upwards of 1,300 raps, which was basically this, right? He was the guy that was owner financing to other people, and the people on the first end, right? The people with the 3% mortgage, they were getting screwed, right? Because this guy would stop paying them, and then the people who moved into their house after giving him $50,000-$60,000, they were getting screwed because now everybody's getting and he's got no skin in the game.
Damn, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we missed out on a good opportunity there.
Yeah. But he said it himself. He's like, hey, without me, a lot of people wouldn't have been able to qualify for a house, which is kind of true,
Yeah, but I don't think you can mitigate the good versus the bad. Yeah. It's like you can't commit a crime and be like, yeah, but I did 2 good deeds to offset this one crime.
I mean, it's not a crime.
What do you mean?
It's legal. Wraparound mortgages are legal.
Oh, well, yeah. Okay. Yeah. But I think, shout out to those 1,300 people, but y'all probably have a claim somewhere.
Yeah, they do. Well,
I'm just saying, I'm no attorney here, but predatory lending is pretty.
It's crazy that's like what someone who's been doing this for 15 years right off the bat calls it that.
Nah, man, I think it's just there's no easy buck, dude. I think the people that get into the homes, I've worked with hundreds of families, thousands at this point, and you meet certain people and you're like, hey, you might be at the situation right now where you don't qualify, but if you put in the work, I'll walk you through it. You'll get into that home. You just have to trust me, but trust yourself not to make all the mistakes you've made before. And then the people that kind of want to go the easy route, I feel sorry for them, absolutely, but why'd you chase the easy route? You had the money, make the hard decisions. There's no easy buck here. There's no easy way to get a home. Mm-hmm. It's a process for a reason.
Yeah, and that makes it makes a lot of sense, right? It makes a lot of sense. You were showing me off camera how you all of a sudden I've been noticing different games. You do a lot of traveling for sports?
Yeah. I'm a part-time sports commentator. Catch me on ESPN. No, I the wife and I do like to travel a lot. This last weekend we went to catch a Cowboys game. 10-3. I'm just saying, Cowboys #1 in the NFC East. Just gonna drop that out there for now. Hopefully when this is out, they haven't lost to the fucking Lions or something. But yeah, dude, we do enjoy traveling a lot. It's just earlier this year we bought a little home up in Ruidoso, so we didn't get a lot of chance to travel. You buy an investment property thinking the same thing. I'm gonna buy an investment property. I'm gonna make all this money on it. Buy a little rental, do this and that, and before you know it, you're just dumping a bunch of money, fixing a bunch of stuff, and then it's 8 months later, and you're like, oh man. Like,
by the way, it's one of the nicest cabins I've seen. I stayed there for over like Thanksgiving.
8 hours.
Yeah, for 8 hours during the Thanksgiving break. No, but it's really cool. It has a creek right in the backyard, double lot and stuff like that.
Thanks, man.
Really, really cool. It actually gave me kind of the itch. I started calling some realtors over there. Hey, I want to see this house because it's badass. Like the nature, hearing the creek, hearing
it's in the morning, huh? Just waking up. Oh, dude. Yeah.
Exactly. What are some of your predictions? I don't want to run this one too long. What are some of the trends that you're seeing in mortgage? And if somebody is out there looking at this and as a first-time home buyer or even a second or third-time home buyer, what can a home buyer expect in the year 2024? Because we're pretty much done with the year.
Yeah. So I think as 2023 comes to a close, the market's really starting to cool off. And we've seen rates starting to taper down, not to the back to the 3s and the 4s that we were once used to, but I think we're going to find a pretty happy medium in those high 5s, low 6s as the year starts, and even lower 5s as the year comes to an end. But what people should be 100% aware of is you're not going to want to wait for these rates to go down to purchase a home, because we're going to run into the same thing we ran into in 2020, where demand is up and inventory is down. Now we have these home prices going up, and as a builder, you don't want to raise prices. But when you're out of inventory and it's an inventory shortage across the nation and lumber goes up $2, like that's not on you. Like you don't have control over that. But to answer your question, I think rates are going to start to cool off even more than we've seen at the end of this year. But I think we're slowly going to run into another inventory shortage. So if you're on the fence, now's the time to make a move. And even if you end up with a 6 or 6.5% rate, just come back and refinance it. I mean, that's. I think refinances have such a bad stigma because people were always so afraid to refinance rates. But refinancing is a great tool, especially now where rates are at. Purchase your home at a low price, take advantage of all the equity. Matter of fact, some of my closest friends just bought a point home.
And yes, they did.
Yeah, they did. And they closed. They're walking out with north of $10,000 in equity. They got a pretty decent rate, but we're both aware that in the next 12 to 24 months they're gonna have to refinance at home, and still have that great equity. If we fast forward 7 or 8 months, there's going to be very little homes with tons of equity and incentives.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, it's the incentive part. It's you hit the nail right in the head. The supply and demand side of it, right? Right now, the builders, the sellers, typically the builders, not necessarily the particular sellers, but the builders are incentivized to close their books for 2023. Yep. And they're incentivized by what? By giving the client what is called contribution for interest rate buy downs, right? Mm-hmm. To buy down your interest rate permanently. But next year, when interest rates are, significantly lower than what they are right now, because we saw some 30-year highs, who knows if the builders are still going to be doing that, And then now you're bidding against 3-4 different people that are now enticed by the market. Because right now, a lot of people are pushed out of the market because of the rates. But once the rates drop a little bit, those people that were once on the fence that were looking at that same house are now all of a sudden back in the game. And they're competing against you for the same deal, and now you're having to come out of pocket with your money. That's why there's buyers and sellers markets. Right now we're in a buyer's market, so it'd be the great time to secure the asset, and then like you said, refinance. Of course, that means get your shit together and keep your shit together, right? Yeah. It's not the same getting to the top than staying to the top, right? Yeah. So get your shit together and keep your shit together, and then refinance, and then you already have a house that potentially is going to go up.
And you're not going to have to. It's crazy. In 2020, as 2019 was coming to a close, some of you guys will remember, rates were coming from like 4s hitting the 5s, and people were panicking. And I remember telling some of my buyers at the office at the time, I said, man, if you're expecting rates to go down, something crazy's got to happen. December 2019, me not knowing. Yeah. I'm like, something crazy at a global scale has got to happen to drive these rates back down. Because these rates had been inflated for 14, 15 years. Like we need these rates to come back up. It's a sign of a healthy economy. Like we should be okay. And then COVID hits in 2020.
Boom.
And I'm like, but I mean, it again inflates those rates.
My brother locked in like at a 2.75.
Yeah, shit, same.
2 point.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you have to strike while the iron is hot.
Yeah.
And the best time to buy is whenever you're ready, right?
No.
No, but whenever, like, if I get the itch for buying, and I'm ready now, buy now.
Yeah.
Why the fuck wait 6 months? I can't go back in time and say, oh, I want the same rates as COVID. It's not 2020. What can you do?
I don't know if it was something you borrowed or something you heard, but I mean, I think I've heard. I haven't heard anyone say this more than you, but you always said the best time to buy is now. No.
Yeah, the second best was like 5 years ago. Or
Yeah. The second
like
best time to buy is now, or the best time to buy is now. The second best time to buy was yesterday. Like just fucking do it now.
Yeah.
Like, why are you gonna wait?
Exactly.
I might butcher that one.
I mean, I want to thank you so much for coming by. If somebody wants to reach you, Cesar, and get some of this knowledge, 15 years of experience under your belt, where can they reach you at?
My cell phone, it hasn't changed since 2009, 915-240-1376. And my Instagram, Mortgage with Cesar, Cesar. I'm bilingual, se habla español, a sus órdenes, lo que usted
Hit the
quiera.
sap button.
Papacito. But yeah, I'm here to serve, man. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for coming on, Cesar.
Hell yeah.